This is part 1, section 7, and I've called it When Reading. And it's a bit of a lame title, but I wanted to talk about being right and how readers want to be right. Because people want to be right when they're reading cards. So somebody says, will it be a boy or a girl? And you say, it's a boy, and you're right. Or, will I get the job? Yes, you will. And the questioner gets the job, and the reader was right. However, I think there's a kind of problem with wanting to be right all the time. And the thing is, if you want to be right, or if you need to be right, this puts the focus on you, the reader, and not so much on the questioner. Although the questioner is where the focus ought to be, I think. At least that's my opinion anyway. So I think there's a difference between being right and saying the right thing. And if we concentrate on saying the right thing for that questioner at that moment, then we're going to be right automatically. And we're going to get the right answer as a kind of side effect because we're focusing on the truth and the message that we're delivering to the questioner. So there's going to be less room for errors to occur or to creep in because the focus is on saying the right thing and being of assistance to the questioner, whatever it takes. And a while ago, I was reading a book about taking photographs and about how important it is to know the settings on your camera. So this means if you spot the perfect moment or the moment you want to capture, you don't waste time setting up the camera or trying to figure out which settings to change. Because if you do that, by the time you've got the camera set up correctly, the moment has passed. So there might be some nice clouds in a sunset, but they've changed even a minute later. So if you've been fiddling around adjusting the f-stop or whatever, or the shutter speed, you've missed the shot and you're never going to get it back. This is like reading the tarot in that if you say something at the right moment, the message gets through. There's growth and improvement or understanding, let's say, in the questioner. But if you say the same words even a minute later or after saying something else, then the person may not be so receptive or something may have changed in them so they don't see what you're getting at. Or their mind is on something else and they don't know what you're saying or they don't hear what you're saying. So rather than concentrating on being right and letting your own ego, let's say, not that I'm against you, but, the ego and our personal sense wants to, be right and wants to control things. So rather than letting your own need to be right control the reading, it's a good idea to be in the moment and trust that you're going to be able to do a right and useful reading for the person at that time. So don't expect that you'll be repeating or that you'll have to repeat what you said about a particular card in the past for somebody else. You don't have to repeat all that from before because it may not be appropriate for this person right now in this with this particular question. Be in the moment and relax. And as you look at the picture on the card, just talk about what you notice right then, rather than try to remember meanings, so that you can get it right and be the great expert who never gets it wrong. Because that's kind of the problem that you face, having to be right or wanting to be right all the time when you try to use a system, no matter how good the system is or no matter how good the system seems to be. There's something about being in the moment and reading what's there that gets you better results, more accurate results. This partly involves trusting yourself and trusting what's going on with the question. So if you say a lot, okay. But if you say only a little, don't assume that you're no good. If there's a lot to say, you'll say a lot. If there isn't much to say, you're not going to say much. And it doesn't mean that you're not a very good reader because you can't think of a lot to say. And this is partly because it can be that the questioner can take in only a little. So there's no point in speaking a lot if they can only take it a little. So you can be, in fact, being quite sensitive to the questioner's needs, because sometimes less is more. Okay, the follow-up. One word: relax. It's okay to be relaxed. It's okay to be relaxed. There's no need to be tense or to tighten up your shoulders or legs or back or whatever. So relax.